I'll explain everything. I get this notification. I was mentioned in a video that shows Tammy J. Hess saying what she does to people across social media. I shared that video. She was upset because in the beginning she says, "This is what I do. I terrorize people across social media from something called Kiwi Farms and everything else there and some type of mafia group or whatever else it is." So I said, "Oh, this is her." So I put it up there and she gets mad. Now, it says, let's go look at this stuff from Robert Reese and look up child support. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know how all this works right here. And there are people that are going to just like pull up like the county, but they're looking at what it says, but not what the details are. That's kind of like saying that this book says um, barbecue chicken, but you don't know all the ingredients unless you actually click on and get the details on how to make that barbecue chicken. Tammy, I don't think you know. I also sell plates. Reese's BBQ. I sell plates. While at Harbor Freight, I was selling plates at $10 a plate, and I'm doing 35 plates every Friday on top of what I'm making inside right there. Now, at Harbor Freight, being a trainer there, I'm gonna go ahead and just keep it like this. There was no $14 an hour at Harbor Freight. There's no that's not even what they start you off on. They start you off on 18 something. So like that's even false by itself. Now, let's get to how all this stuff started right here. First of all, I have never been married twice. I only have one wife, only one. I have never been married twice. I've been married to the same woman I proposed to. That's the woman I've been married to this whole time. Met my wife in 2008. Okay, we met at the gym while I am the LA Fitness trading director off of Michelle in Irvine. Okay, I was able to work with the Biggest Loser. I was able to work with Rampage Jackson over there and at No Limits. I was able to do all of that. Um, I went to Irvine Valley College, got my I got my kinesiology and all my training stuff done there, special populations, all that stuff there in Irvine, California, which is why you see that on my LinkedIn. Okay, did all that stuff. Met my wife in 2008. Now, when I met my wife, we met and everything was fine. I never knew I had a child. My wife had a child, my oldest son. I'm not gonna give his name. I've said it on camera before, but I like to see these other people try to document your kids too. And they say we don't do that stuff to kids. Well, it was just done. Okay. Now, I never knew I had a kid. While being, okay, the head personal training director at Bally Fitness before LA Fitness bought them out, I was the head training director there. Okay. In Tustin. Okay. Off of El Camino Real. Right there. Tammy. So when I get my check, it says that they minus this for child support. I said, what the hell is going on? So I call the child support place. They tell me that, yeah, you have a son, his name is this and this and that, and this is how much you owe. I never knew, no paternity test, and this was years in the making. When I found out, my son was already 2 years old, which is why when you go back and read that story that you just said on 2011, when she said, she came from Missouri, she did all this stuff. Yeah, when she came from Missouri, she was already pregnant from being from out there with whoever that guy was. I was not her boyfriend. We went to court, testified on all this stuff. That was not what it was. She put the guilt trip on me and my mom, saying that where she came from, there's no help and all this other stuff. My mom felt sorry for her. My same mom that's sick. My mom said, "Hey, let's go ahead and I'm gonna take them some formula and all that stuff." My mom did all that stuff. Once I figured out that there was some weird stuff going on, I was like, oh, this is weird. But we never went into a relationship. We testified on that in court. I said it all, and she did not deny anything. Eric Lars said, this is the time to be true about everything. That was that there. Now, from all of that time, I never knew I had a son. Okay. I never knew I had a son. What's up, AZ Prod? I never knew I had a son. When they start taking money out of my checks, that's how I found out. So what did I do? My brother said, because my brother's, his baby mom, her sister works for the Child Support Authority in Orange County. So I went up there to see what I can do. They said we got to start doing this. We got to file this, get this done, so you can at least start to get some paternity rights to your son. But they said you're gonna have to go through a paternity test, okay, and all that other stuff. I had to pay. I had to pay for all of that. Okay, I had to pay for all of that. So I went while they're still taking. They first started me off with child support at over $600. Okay, at over $600. They started me off at. So I went down there, did all that stuff, and I'm paying that the same time. Okay, I'm paying that the same time. My wife is almost pregnant with my son Trey that's passed away. So, my son, the hospital almost died in there every single time. So my wife was the stay-at-home mom with my son Trey. He was on oxygen machine and everything. So, Tammy, no, my wife was not out there putting in that work. She was putting in that serious work. Let's go ahead and get this straight. She was putting in that serious work. You ever see your son almost die and the ambulance has to come and take him from your house before you even know you got a son? While all this is going on, I'm going to get visitation. I'm going to get paternity tests. There's ex parte hearings going on so that I cannot see because uh, my brother was like, you got to do it like this. So I was like, cool. Went there, did all that. While going through this whole process, I had to go to court so many times. While my son, before he was even like 3 years old, okay, they had me go to my family and me to sit in a little room, like four by whatever it was, and have him play with dirty ass toys. When I would bring my other kids, well, not kids, my oldest boy, and I would take my oldest nephews that were their age there with them so he can have some people to play with. It got to the point to where she said she doesn't want them around because it's supposed to be based on my relationship with my son, not letting him know who his siblings are and his cousins. I had to go through all of that. During all that, there was a lot of arguments on the phone, a lot of arguments in person. When I got to go and pick him up from school, and my wife is with me, he pulls up with somebody else in her car and they start yelling, why is she here? And then my wife and her start going at it. The police gets called. That's a DV. Okay, that's a DV. It goes on. All that stuff was overturned by the judge. All of that was overturned by the judge. Okay, you guys read a story saying you're going to donate money, right, and do all that. Well, let me fill in one blank here. In that story that you read, you said that she does medical and all this stuff. Well, that's what she does. When she came out here, she got into a women's home, did all that stuff. That's what it says, right? So while she was living in them places, he was on that while my son was born, and I did not know. So that's why they came at me for child support. You gotta understand this. They came at me because of that. But I gotta ask you this. You read off, it says she was making $279 a month, right? Well, if she's doing these other jobs and that's what she's making a month, I don't think you got your numbers right. That's what they were saying that she's making without being inside that system in the home. Okay. Now, I'm not responsible for someone being inside a home and doing that if that's what they moved out here to do. And I did not even know about my son. Once I found out I had a son, I did every single thing step by step, all the court process, back and forth, back and forth. I was able to take time off from work because I was the director. I can leave when I want and come on back. That's what I did. Same as when my son was in the hospital, when he almost died 9 days old. I was able to take all my time, and I had to come back to work because when you're a trainer, you're not under the family leave of absence rules. You don't get paid for it because you're on appointment and schedule based only. Okay, that's how that works right there. So I was able to take off time, leave work, put somebody else in charge, have them run the gym, run everything while I'm going taking care of all this stuff. It got to the point to where I'm picking up my son from school. I have to be the one to pick him up every day. You know, bring him home. They would come pick him up straight from where we live. And I worked at home being a trainer also. So they would come pick him up straight from the gym. Okay, straight from me, pick him up. Did all of that. It got to a point to where my son's mom really went through a real hard thing with knowing that I love my wife and there's nothing there with her. There was never nothing there like that. So there was always issues like that. So let's get to the December, the DV in December. It was December 24th. I'm going to take my son his Christmas gifts. Okay. I'm taking him his Christmas gifts. They would not allow me to give him the gifts. He would not come to the door. I'm knocking on the door in Irvine. No, you can't be here. He's not going to get these gifts. No, 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 no. I said, I'm not going to leave until he gets his gifts. Me and my brother went and sat in the parking lot, went back up there again. No, my brother went up there, knocked on the door. I'm his uncle. I'm trying to give him his Christmas gifts too. My family got gifts for him over here. Now, no, 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 no. Police are called. The police then let me know that I see that you have your mediation on paper here. Mediation does not count at all because it's not signed off for the judge. You go to mediation to have that there because some people think that mediation is the real thing. They said unless this is signed off by the judge, we can't let you even go and give him the gifts. So the police officers went up there and said, would it be okay if we let him come down to get his gifts? He still said no, which made an ex parte hearing come up right after that. And then we had a court case in January right after that. Going back and forth from court the whole time to where the supervised visitation was there. I'm at the Bill Barber Park in Irvine doing one of the visitations. He had two other people monitor me while I'm watching my son at the park. Now, one of these people were extremely overweight, and I'm a trainer, right? So I said, well, if they go follow me everywhere, me and my son go walk around the whole park. Whenever we sat down, we made them sit down, then I would stand right back up and make them walk all over again. I was doing that to him. They tried to say, well, he's making this move, he's doing that on purpose. They did all of that. During that process, I'm trying to take my son somewhere, and they got mad because I'm making them move. I said, okay, I'm going to take him over here because he said, Grandma Kathy, can I go do this? And I walked them over there to where they were. And at first they said, yeah. Then I said, yeah, we're going to go over there. I was doing handstands in the grass with my son. And then I took him back. Then I said, we're going to go over here. He said, no, you're not. We're going to leave. I said, my time is not up. I still got like 45 minutes left. My time is not up for my time. It says this here. They said, well, we got to leave. We're going now. I said, that's not what my time says. My time is not up. They tried to leave it by my son. I grabbed my son's arm and said, you're not taking my son nowhere. Other people were at the park. I told the Asian couple there, I said, go get help, go get help, call the police, call the police. The police station sits right in the middle of Bill Barber Park in Irvine. The police came. They understood what was going on. They were like, man, well, we're going to make it so that you go your way, they go yours. I said, well, would it be okay if my son gave me a hug and a kiss before they left? She tried to say no, 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 no. Now, my son's mom was not there. He had to listen to this in court because she was not there to witness this. She had to sit there quiet, shaking her head, saying, no, 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 that's not how it went. But she was not there. And the judge had Grandma Kathy on the stand. And he read straight through her like a book. He said, this is ridiculous. So the question I asked, because they said that I was assaulting them and I assaulted my son on that day, and that's what made a restraining order come. When it was time for me to question them in court, my question was this, and the judge said, do you understand the question that he actually asked? I said, if I myself committed assault on you and my son, why would the police allow him to give me a hug and a kiss before they left? That was the question that broke her ass back. She said, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Eric Lars said, okay, we're done with that. Go ahead, sit down. He made her go ahead and sit down. Throughout all the supervision inside the little ass rooms, they will go and complain. Well, he brought his kids. When Eric Lars said, do not bring the kids, only go there with you, then a report came inside the courtroom and said, well, it says this. Now I said, Judge, check out the date on when that was put on in. He said, this was before I told him. He has not done that since. Bingo! They threw that all the way out. To where we did not have to go to that little ass room and be in there with them broken ass toys, like in a Toy Story movie, with them toys, when the kids don't have shit. I went through all of that. It got to a point to where I don't even want you to pick him up from school because of all this other stuff. Women do that. Now, when it came time to, everything else, people got to grow up and figure it out. When it all grew up, throughout all this time, I'm paying child support, doing all that stuff. Now, when you're self-employed, now, Tammy, you don't even have this. She said, well, low income, you don't even got to when my child support was dropped all the way down to 116 bucks. You don't even have that on there. That actually happened. It went from 4 or something to 116. You know why? Physical time with the child, also running your own training business, and you got to pay for your expenses and everything else because that's what you do and that's how you work. It went all the way down. Now, when that happened, okay, while working for myself, I left a company that shut down. They offered me unemployment for that place. When the judge had dropped all my stuff down to whatever it was, my unemployment, when they give you a check every week, they took the child support out of that, and they took that out all the way through. And then it went into, I had overpayments. I paid way too much. So I start receiving overpayment checks. While I'm receiving overpayment checks, my physical time with my son is increasing all the way to where we get all the way, okay, to 2021. The whole case was dismissed. She said, that's enough. Everything's been good. No missed payments. No, none of that. The children go to the birthdays. Grandma does it. It's just what it is. Now, my wife, my mother-in-law, they buy my son Christmas gifts and stuff like that. My mom does stuff like that. And guess what? If they say you can bring your friend, my son can bring his brother to wherever else he was. Now, I want you to understand also what made the child support stop. And Pedro and Hannibal, shame on you guys for getting up there and like, whoa, this and all this, all this. You know why the child support was really dropped and stopped? Now, my son, that is her son. I have a son with my wife, their younger brother, Trey Reese. Okay? While Trey was in the hospital, there was a time while Trey was in the hospital, and my other son, he has a sister. His little sister was in the ICU on one floor, and my other son was in the ICU on the other floor. My son was going from floor to floor to see his siblings, and they both could have died at any moment. A lot of you guys don't realize that. When you see that stuff happen, and you understand that the kids are family and all the other stuff, that makes people go ahead and stop things. You got to understand that. So don't just go look and read stuff and all this other stuff. Have you ever seen cases where they say, oh, I can't go see him. The woman won't let me go see. They end up on the Maury Povich show, Jerry Springer, Steve Wilkos. They end up on all these shows. They won't let me see. They won't let me see. Well, if we read these rights and all this stuff, will you allow this stuff to happen? It's not about having someone allow it to for you to happen. You got to go to court and represent yourself. That's what you got to do. So, therefore, Cammy, J. Hess, child support stops when the other party calls and says they want it to stop. Then they get in contact with you, and that's what you do. You may not understand how that works. Ain't everybody in a crazy bitch like you. and you say, oh, you call me a bitch, I didn't heard you call Eli and people bitches and talk to men crazy. Ain't no one an evil Karen ass bitch like you. Used to be an evil ass Karen ass bitch, but things changed. But things changed. All right? That's how it is. Now, anytime you are dealing with a woman and they're trying to hold you away from your kid, they always tell the man, why didn't you just go to court to avoid all this stuff? Well, that's what you do. But every time you go to court, everything that's there is all part of the same case. It's all part of the same case. Now, since that is there, I'm asking you, while you were looking at everything else, how come you didn't tell people how much I owe in child support? That is the number one question right there. How come you didn't tell them how much I owe? How come you keep saying, well, child support, they don't stop? No, you don't understand. You're a witch. You're a real witch. You're a Wiccan, a pagan. You're a real witch, so it's not an insult. You got to understand these things. And to get up there and say, well, look at what it says. And then you went to my LinkedIn and said, I'm not even going to go down and read this stuff. Sales director, trainer, raising this stuff. You never did that. It's there. It's there. The names of the businesses are there. They are there. There's people that watch me who are from those places there. When you go to my Thumbtack, the new you personal training. When you go to Facebook, the new you personal training. When you say he's never did this, he never did that, and this and that, oh, well, that's you. When you say, look, education, he didn't click anything. I just told you where I went. And on my LinkedIn, it shows you that that's where I went to school. It shows you that there. My sons, my wife, my family, they all know. Like, that's what I was doing. That's what I did. My transcripts are also up online also. Go ahead, since you want to, look up my transcripts from Irvine Valley College. Look up my transcripts. Look them up. Look at the grades I was getting. The grades are there. The transcripts are there. The transcripts are there. Oh, he says he did this. He said that. Man, you are hilarious. Here's what crazy women like you do. You're going to say, well, he's doing this and doing that because that's what he is. No. Anything that happens interpersonal and you're dealing with another party and a child, any police that's called or anything, it's a DV call. That's what it is. Now, you would see that I would have been convicted of everything you're saying. I would have been convicted. I have never been convicted of anything. This is bracket gaming right here. You cannot ask me any questions right now because you'll try to cut me off. Thank you for leaving. I went on there and she was trying to cut me off, so I cannot give you guys details because the details, they fill in all the blanks. So when Cherry Pick was over there and Cray Cray, Bart Simpson, buying memberships and doing that for your channel, Flex is over there. When one person says one thing and you get all the facts right here, I've had live episodes when both my boys are sitting right behind me. They're right there. They're right there. They're right there. You're a liar. Because, and then you say, well, I want to interview his son's mom. You read something from 2011. We in 2024. We in 2024. And you said, look at Robert, that's you. That's what you did. What did I do? I found out I had a son, and I did what I was supposed to do. Not my fault. And she said he was at Harbor Freight, a warehouse associate. Everyone knows that when I was doing gig work when I first started, I was doing it off and on. When my son passed away, I was doing gig work full on to help cope with stress. Then my brother told me, because my brother, one of the regional managers at FedEx, head of safety, he said, you need to go work in a warehouse in a truck and go beat those boxes up. So I went to an agency. They looked at my resume. They said, well, why do you want to do this? I said, and I explained to them. They put me in shipping. I was loading trucks, playing church music, crying inside the truck, loading up 53-foot trucks, loading them up, crying, beating up boxes, picking up 300-pound stuff, putting them on pallets, doing all that stuff. That helped me with my stress. You also read that it said that at Harbor Freight, my insurance covers all my kids, my whole family. Said beating those boxes is code for smacking your wife. What the fuck? Like, did you not just hear what I just said? My son died. Beating up the boxes is there for my son died. I don't get it. And Tammy, I never put a video up to talk about your daughter and your loss. That happened to be in that video. You started off with all this weird stuff. I'm not a Robert the perpetual victim. No, how can I be a victim if I went and fought and did it all? There's no victim there. If you're a victim, you don't want to. You'll run. When you know you're not the victim and you want to make sure it goes right, you go in front of a judge, like most men won't do, and you go ahead and do it. It is what it is. But I didn't put a video up to talk about the death of your daughter. Why would I talk about you losing somebody and make fun of you? Who would ever do that? Cherry Pick and people like that went over there, Flex, and everybody else. That's who does that stuff. Ain't no one do that. The beginning of that video, it says, I terrorize people on social media and the internet. That's what I do. Said that's the video. That's what the video was about. How did you know what you were putting up? What are you talking about? How did I know what I was putting up? What are you talking about? They said Irvine Valley College is a. I don't think you guys understand what programs and search and everything. I don't think you guys understand. Now, that's what the video was about. How did you know what you were putting up? What do you mean? How did I know? First of all, they tagged me in the video. Mentioned me. They tagged me in another one the other day that was showing your face. So I clicked this one and it says, I terrorize people on social media. I was like, wow. Then they showed her talking, and then it showed her crying and telling. I guess she was telling her daughter to go terrorize people, like doing like a spell or something. So I shared that because it was already shared, and there's a lot of people that have already seen that. That's something that she already knows about. I shared that, and it goes from terrorizing to her daughter, and then it goes into her doing some more stuff. That's what it is. There's nothing there that is there to try to come at you because of your daughter. That is crazy. She talks about being a narcissist. You see how she won't let anyone talk. She makes up her own stories and says, no, that's not right. That's not right. No, if you believe me, put a 1. That is pure narcissism. That's pure. That's what you do. You are the leader of your group, whatever it is, and you are the narcissist. Like Lex Luger, you are the narcissist. You put those things up there. You never knew that a man will go to court and actually fight and do what he has to do to get everything wiped down so that it's all the way good. Why do you think I know about the actual physical time and percentage? You guys are saying if your child's in school, the woman still gets all that time. No, when you go to court to really know what's going on, if a child is in school for 6 hours a day, that means for those 6 hours, they are not with both parents at all. None of the parents get that time. They now take off those hours. Now, if a child goes to daycare, you got to pay for daycare, right? You have to. I did all that stuff too. Daycare was way too much money. Did all that stuff too. But even while at daycare, the daycare is with the child. not the parent. So now you minus off those hours now. Now you put up the hours that you are physically there with the child. And then you do that. If you alternate the summers, Christmas break, Easter break, depending on your school, Thanksgiving break, you go ahead and you put those in. Then they divide the actual physical time on what you actually have. Then they use that time to determine what you spend with your kid. I went from 0% custody to all the way full joint custody, 100% full joint custody. When you get that and your physical time is there, they wipe it out because you're doing what you do. A lot of you people don't know there's a lot of men out there who have a kid and they're driving right now doing the gig work because that's how they're paying. And Tammy said, "You're not a courier. You drive for DoorDash." I don't drive for DoorDash. I have. I also won $25,000 from Postmates on class action lawsuits, driving and being a courier. As a courier, drop off food, clothes, TVs, medication, medical supplies, passenger, taking people to hospitals, a real courier, dropping off mail, dropping off paint supplies. You are a courier. When you're a courier, your job is driving and dropping off. That's why we can park anywhere we want to park. You said you're not a courier, you drive for DoorDash. That's not a job. But Mr. Flex drives for the same place that you say is not work, so he can't say he's a courier. Cray Nay, Flex, Cherry Pick, Damian Blaze, all those people that you just told me said you're not a courier. You just told them that they don't do it either. And they just gave you money for no reason, these idiots. For no reason. J Ram was over on Flex's and Roy was over there. He didn't talk all that shit. And J Ram, by the way, I got your video yesterday. You're up there saying, I could say nigga. Nigga, not a bad word. It's not mean. Nigga, I'm drunk. I'm saying nigga. So why don't you go ahead and talk about that since you say you can say nigga? J Ram, you did that on your video yesterday. That's what you did. Now, Flex, I want you to have him on your show and have him say nigga. You say it's not allowed, but that's what he does. All you guys paid this person money, and she said that what we do is not a job. Her fat ass sits at home, and we take her the bonbons. That's what we do. She's the person that's looking up a witchcraft spell, and we have to go to Barnes and Noble to get the book and drop it off at her house. We are the people that make her sit on the toilet and not move and just do whatever she wants to do. She talks about all this stuff, just like Donald Trump, everybody else. She's been bankrupt. She's done all that. We all have had stuff happen. But because you're so miserable in your life, you go ahead and do this. Hannibal and Pedro were in there talking some shit. Robert, you should be ashamed of yourself. Well, now that I'm breaking it down, who are you ashamed of? Who are you ashamed of? Pedro, you have a child with somebody else, and you have a child that's really grown. That's grown, and then you have a younger child. Now, did you have to go to child support court? Did you have to do everything that you had to do? And why are you not with the other woman? And if you ain't paying child support, then why not? Did you have to sign something? Did something happen? Or did she say that we ain't doing that? Or did you say, man, I'm stuck. We weren't able to fix this stuff, so I was stuck all the way until my daughter's fully grown. What? I'm not the only man in America that had to pay child support. There's millions of us. Millions. And check this out. There's a lot of women that have to pay child support for lying in paperwork to the courts, and it backfires on them. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's what happens. A lot of you guys don't understand how systems work. But if someone just said something, well, look at this. Look, it says child support. Oh, the county. It was the county. Yeah. She got on services. She was already on services. She said that in that story that you read. She came from Missouri and went to a woman's home that's ran by the state. She was already in that. So what are you talking about? So once you have a kid and she don't know who the father of her other son is to this day. She don't know. She don't know who he is. He ain't never seen his dad, not one time. She was pregnant when she moved out here. My mom was buying Similac and stuff while she was pregnant. The guy didn't even know he had a son. So she never left an abusive relationship. She said she moved out here because her mom was on drugs and her sister were out there and they used to get beat and they were raped by her stepdad or something else like that. So then she left Missouri while pregnant and came out here. So she was already on the system. Her oldest son don't even know his dad, ain't never seen him. Her other son knows me, and he says, I ain't gonna say the kids names. Deal, Loki, Jackson, Jake, Blake, Hamilton. Do you think your dad can bring me some Taco Bell too? If he go bring you some? Dylan. I'm gonna say his name since you put it out there. Can I come spend the night at your dad's house? All that stuff. What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? And check this out. There's tons of pictures on my Facebook all over with all the kids are together. Okay? I'm the dad of my son Trey, Dill, my oldest son, and my daughter. My kids. Her kids. Her daughter. We share a son with a Dill. And she has an older son. His little sister knows who her dad is. He's a barber and everything. He knows who I am. When they were together, when him and her were together, I'll go pick up Dill. They'll come drop him off and all that stuff. There's no issues there. No issues. None. When you got that stuff going on and you know that there's a lot of hurt and possible death that can come. Now, just imagine this. My son he could have lost in one day a brother and a sister in one day. Imagine that as a young boy. Imagine that. Just imagine that. There's a lot that you don't know about. So when I talk and you say, oh, he wasn't no coach, well, go check out my stuff. Jay Ram already said, look, he's lifting this, 225, he's got this. You see me with all the clients, all that other stuff, testimonials there and everything. It's all there. My transcripts show psychology and everything else on it. It shows everything on it. Yes, I did take an oath. There's an oath that you take as a trainer and as a nutritionist. I want you to go look up .fit, look up NASM, look up that. My CEUs for .fit, they go into NASM. I don't think you guys just heard me. My continuing education units from .fit, they transfer over into NASM also. I don't think you guys understand. Now, just because you got a ringleader out there that says, oh, I'm just going to read this stuff, not have any facts. She says, well, people, it probably means this. Probably means that you don't know shit. No, people, I know. No, well, if it says this, it's got to be this. No, you're just making it up. So anytime you make up stuff, it is what it is. Now, I'm going to check right now to see if your live is over. I'm already on the screen, so I can just copy the link to that video because my music is already there. I've already started it up. All I'm waiting on is just to get that timestamp so I can add it, and then they'll send that to you. I'm not giving you 7 days. It's going to be an instant. Why don't you ask Cherry Pick and ask all the people over there when it comes down to music and all my rights with my ASCAP, ask them if they will ever play my music inside their clips. They don't. You know why? Because they will get a copyright strike. Because they found out the hard way that I own my shit. Okay. Then Tammy says, I never played that. It was you talking. Well, I wanted you to keep playing that Kia Car Pros thing and watch me ring the bell in there. I have a bird dog agreement with that place. Do you know what a bird dog agreement is, Tammy? That means I sell cars without working for them. Have you ever had a bird dog situation? She said, let's go find out and tell his son's mom that he does this. Well, he drove for Chip back in the day. My son told me. They know I do Uber and all this other stuff. They watch my videos. They're subscribed. My son does. He shares them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. He shares them on all. My videos are up there. They're up there. Just the other day, not the other day, maybe about like a couple weeks ago, my son's mom calls my mom because my son wants to come out for something. She didn't go and call me. She called my mom because that's my mom's grandson. Now, I want you to understand how that works, Tammy, the woman with no man, that no man will ever want. Because you look like Bertha from the Glow Wrestling back in the day, the Women's Wrestling League, and everybody knows who Big Bertha is and how she looks. This is hilarious because you look just like her. And she walked in with like a little doll, like a voodoo doll. Like, go figure. Go figure. Go figure. Go figure. Now, when you went up and looked at everything, and you said, "Oh, look, we got pay stubs, we got this and that." You notice how you didn't really look at everything? You said you don't pay no money, but it shows that you pay $400 and something a month, but I pay no money. Did all my payments. It was at $600 and something first. Get your facts right. I dropped it all the way down from 600 all the way down to zero by going to court and doing it the right way. And I went through a lot of headaches and heartaches, restraining order, supervised visitation, having the police come multiple times. I've been through all of that throughout them years. All of that. That's what you go through when you deal with this stuff. What you see in movies and on TV shows, it's not fake. There are some women who start off like that. Then you got a bunch of dudes that don't want to go down to the court, and then they get hit like that and ran over. They tried to say, put up the link and let's see if he clicks the link. I clicked the link instantly, and instantly they started hitting mute because I'm going to fill in the blanks on everything she just said. I just filled in the blanks again. Now, gig world, the people that you guys are vouching, spending money, and adopting these things because you guys are the same people, drama filled. This is real drama. She doxes little kids. Why don't you guys go check them videos out? She documents little kids and families and everything, but she says she won't. She does all that stuff. If anyone says anything against her, she's gonna go ahead and do all these things. Like cherry pick, how we all know you're a squatter and you were saying stuff about what you do on how you live free and you don't pay anything because you're a squatter. Now, if she goes and runs you, she'll go ahead and check that out too. You said it your own self, cherry pick. You said it your own self. Once you guys say, hey man, we ain't with that stuff, she's gonna do the same thing to you guys. Now, Glitch Dash and those other guys, they separated away from Eli because of her. That's what it was. Because of her. She scares people with this. She scares them with this. It's like a scared straight thing. Well, you can't, racist white people can't scare a strong black man straight. This is another attempt at being racist to try to say black men don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do all this other stuff, and you're dead wrong. You are dead wrong. Dead wrong. Dead wrong. I've been on many panels speaking about this to help younger dudes understand what you gotta do when you go to court. I tag you guys in Chaotic Truth. I'm gonna tag you guys into the Lapeef Network. I'm gonna tag you guys into all of that. I speak about this stuff openly. This is how you help someone. You help them and say, hey, don't do it like this because this can happen. This can happen. Don't do it like that. Don't do it like that. Okay? Now, also, when you're dealing with stuff, I'm just like Cat Williams. Just like Cat Williams. No convictions. You can go to court all you want. No convictions. You can go all you want. And if I've owed all that money since before I knew my son, why aren't I in jail for not paying child support? I would be hiding. I wouldn't be on camera. My address would not be up there. I don't hide my phone number or anything. Why is that? Just think, why is that? She said maybe he didn't think no one will go ahead and look or this and that. Tammy, don't you know when I was in court, there's a bunch of people in the courtroom watching and listening, separate from the judge, the clerk, the bailiffs, all of them, the court reporter, all of them. They're all in there too. They're all in there too. All of them are in there. When you get that paper, you know, where you got your whole case in the file, I got like 5 of those. Because when they get modified, you get a new one. You get a brand new one. And it goes by what's stated on there. That's what it is. Now, that one from 2021, I'm surprised you did not see, like, there's another paper that says that, you know, it's done. They say it can be opened up again if someone goes and gets on the county again or does some other stuff. But while being on the county and in those programs, she's not on that. She might be on something I don't know about that's not involved with the county, but it's not the county. All that medical billing and all that stuff, that's what she does. So I'm trying to figure this out though, Tammy. If someone does that for work and they make $279 a month, there's something that's not really right there. You got to understand what that is. Your information, you don't know what you're talking about. You got to figure that out. How are you going to read what someone says and read the story? She said, Dylan is 2 years old. Didn't I tell you I found out I had a son at 2 years old? So how would I know what he's doing, playing, before I know I have him? How is that possible? You don't make sense there. I found out I had a son when he was 2 years old. Okay? Never been married before. One marriage to one wife. That's how when you guys say, well, the older son and his son, he was going back and forth from girls and from women. You guys were saying that in your own chat. No. I found out when he was 2 years old. And my oldest son is a year and a half older than him. So therefore, they're growing up together and watching it. So I'm kind of confused. Well, I'm not confused. You're confused. You're confused. Been in court so many times. But the gig world, and you guys that are over here, and you guys are listening, this is crazy. Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. Now, Hannibal, everything was cool. You guys want to do an interview with me on Pedro and Hannibal? I don't know. You guys are sideways. Hannibal was telling people to download a gig app to cuddle with other people's wives while he has a wife. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I just don't know what to say. But what I'm saying is this. You guys got to understand. Listen to cases. When someone doesn't want to hear the fine detail about something they don't know about because they're just looking at something and saying, well, it must mean this. You don't know shit. The full details are there. Just like that video, I said, you guys don't know shit about the gig community at all. And J Ram, say nigga one more time and laugh about it. I guess you got some heart. You got some heart to say it 10 minutes from Canada. You got heart. You got heart. You said nigga. And you said it proudly because you want to say nigger with the ER because you're racist. Because you're racist. Don't ever do that. I have to go through a whole lot with all this stuff. And all parties got over everything. And that's the way it is. You don't get over it unless you go to court and get in there yourself. And that's the way it is. Now it is the way it is now. Everything is A-okay. What's up, TFT?
Oh, another day just out doing laundry, trying to get some stuff taken care of
How's the
before I
wife,
gotta
man?
go visit my wife today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's doing good. It's just gonna take time and healing. Well, last Thursday she had a visit with the orthopedic doctor. I think that's right. Yeah, the foot doctor basically. To see how it's healing, making sure the stitching and everything is not infected, all this other stuff.
Right.
Uh, Took a whole crap load of X-rays, put my wife in a lot of pain, but they're taking care of that. She's doing good though. That's the good thing. She's doing good. She's still on a quote unquote no weight bearing status, so no weight on the foot whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But she ought to be hopefully able to be out of a wheelchair in the next 2 to 4 weeks, so that way she can come home.
Right. Right.
But
And that wheelchair, man, you gonna be you'll be using a lot of ramps, special access points, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Hey, you work your butt out though. You get a good butt workout though when you got to push good.
yeah, see, unfortunately, them ramps are rather expensive. Now, yeah, I can build them myself if I really want to, I guess. But it's you got to remember, it's not my house; it's my landlady's home. So I can't go through
Right.
the modifications for the house without her consent and approval. And we not only need stuff to get her into the house, we need stuff to get her in and out of certain rooms as well. So that means additional stuff, and that's just too much crap. That's why she's in the rehab facility instead of being at home. Part of it, anyway.
Right.
But
Right.
part of it is honestly, I can't be there 24/7 to take care of her the way she needs because I have to
Right.
work. You know? So it's like, so be it. She's not happy, but she understands. Well,
Right.
but that's a big derail, as Torp would say. 'Cause yes, I still watch Torp videos from time to time. I still watch a lot of
Oh,
people's videos
yeah.
from time to time.
Yeah.
Um, Now, a lot of people think just because I don't comment that I'm not supporting you. Me not commenting is because there's nothing in your video that I felt that I needed to comment on. Well, it's same with yours. Same with anybody who I'm subscribed to. Like Real Talk with Roy. He's never said anything about it, but he knows that if he ever was in a hard spot and I could help him, I'd be happy to. I like Roy. I think Roy a good guy. I'll do all I can to help the guy if he needs it, if it's within my power and it doesn't hurt me. Same with you, same
Right.
with Eli, same with Twerp, same with pretty much anybody and everybody I've spoke with.
Speaking of
Uh,
Eli, I got something to say. And Tammy and everybody else over there, I hope you guys are listening. Since I went and found out all this information about what you guys actually do on tormenting innocent people's lives on the internet, and that's what you guys specialize in. You guys say that that's what you do. They got my videos and Eli's on Rumble and everything else. It lets you know people where they're at. But from going ahead and looking at all of this, I came to figure out that they painted this picture about Eli that is definitely not true. They came across him and he saw what they are doing and he said something. And then they went to go torment him and make up all this stuff. And then they're talking about they're abusing Don and making up all this other stuff. It's not Eli. Eli just keeps standing up to you guys and you guys don't like it. He's not doing that. He's helping out Don. He's doing what he has to do. He supports her. He does all that stuff. You guys call her a drunk face and make up all this other stuff. I think you guys are mad because she don't look like you guys. You guys are terrible. Um, but Eli ain't did nothing wrong. Now that I actually went and did some real research on it, you guys came across him how you came across me and everybody else, and he don't like what you do. So you went at him, and you got this whole smear campaign going against him, and you guys don't like how he just keeps coming back and he stands up to you guys. He's gotten to the point to where he says, I'm going to ignore you guys. And that's what he does to most of you guys, except certain ones. TFT has asked you guys, why don't you guys just ignore Eli? And you guys don't seem to have the answer. But Eli has said, I just ignore them. So if he ignores you, he never knew who you were before you start coming at him. You guys are the antagonists to what's going on. There's nothing wrong with Eli. Eli, you guys are just seeing him get frustrated and mad and then saying, well, look at him. And let me tell you guys this. You guys said that Hot Facts is making fun of Eli. He says Eli is an idiot. No, you don't understand. Eli is hilarious. He is hilarious. The things he says, the things he does cracks me up. So if it cracks me up, I'm gonna work with the dude. There ain't nothing wrong with him. You guys
oh, don't
heard
get
me
me
and him
wrong.
sing. Yeah,
I gotta chime in here right quick. Now, from a personal perspective on that one video regarding the trip to the Jason Aldean concert that they did, personally, my own personal opinion on that is that stream should have ended as soon as she asked to have it terminated. Period.
right.
And yeah, I don't know their full relationship. I probably never will. I'm not friends with Eli. I've never met the man personally. I've spoke to him on your videos a couple, like one or two times. Chatted with him a little bit in his own chats, so I can get his see how his personality is. Just the same as I went over to Tammy, went to her streams, is to talk with them, get their opinions, get their views, get their personalities, to see if I want to continue to view their content or not. It's the same thing I've done with Twerp, same thing I've done with everybody I've ever watched. If I like what you do, I'll continue to be subscribed. I'll continue to watch your videos from when I get a chance because I'm not on here all the time. I don't spend my life on YouTube. My life, first, there's three things that are most important in my life. You already know them, Reese. You know, my family, my truck, and my money. Those are the most
Yeah,
important things in my life.
I was waiting for the truck. I was waiting. The
Those are the
truck.
most
Yeah.
important things in my life. But if you notice, family is always first. Always. Above all else,
Yep.
family is first. Because there is nothing I will not do for my family. Nothing. If that means I got to create a YouTube channel and start blasting people for whatever the fuck purposes, if it helps my family, I'll do it. Yeah, coming up on here to bullshit with you is because I like you and I like bullshitting with you. It has nothing to do with anything else. I'm not getting paid to be up here. I don't get paid to go talk to Eli. I don't get paid to talk to anybody. I choose to be here so that I can say what I want to say on an open format where it is allowed. Now, I respect everybody's opinions. I respect them all. I may not agree with a lot of them, but I respect them. And I will never openly bash anybody. I may state my opinions about somebody, but that's not bashing them. That's my personal views from what information I've gathered about that said person. Plain and simple. If people don't like it, so be it. I don't say what I say to be liked by everybody. If you like me, great. You don't, well, that's your opinion. Have fun with it. You know? Now, in terms of people using the N word and whatnot, whether it's the GGA or the GER version, I've always been brought up to never really use those terms ever for one reason: it's disrespectful. It doesn't matter what the situation you're talking is, it's disrespectful. Now, I've also been brought up to know that those terms are typically used to describe people of ignorance of a specific ethnicity. That's what I was always brought up. It's not the color of your skin why somebody calls you that. It's you're being an ignorant person. And that's the term. That's why there's all those ethnic slurs out there. Like people call me a redneck. Well, yeah, my neck is kind of red right now. I've been out in the sun a lot. I do a lot of yard work. I do a lot of driving. You want to call me a redneck? Go ahead. I don't care. You want to call me a cracker? Go ahead. I don't care. I love crackers. I got a box of Ritz in the back right now. Uh, you ain't gonna hurt me by calling me a name. Ain't nobody gonna hurt me except for my family. My family can hurt the hell out of me if they really chose to, but they don't because they love me because they're my family and they know there's nothing I won't do for them. Nothing. As long as the people keep that in mind, take care of your family, take care of your good friends, people who you can call any time of the day and they'll always be there. Those aren't friends anymore. Those are family. You take care of family, family takes care of you. That's all there is to it.
And that's it. Well, with that being said, TFT, I'm gonna end it on those. I'm gonna end it on those words right there because that's perfect right there. I'm gonna end this on those words because people, believe it or not, TFT, myself, my wife, everybody else out there, Bobby, and everybody else that goes over there to the Genuine Network working, we are all couriers and we all do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
You
if
see the
if
DoorDash
if
logo
what I
right there,
if what I do
and
is
right
not
there.
what it is, all them other people aren't doing it either, and you just took all their money. And shame on you, gig content creators, for going over and not knowing nothing either to really get the facts right here. So now you guys know. Pedro and Hannibal, shame on you guys for going over there, writing stuff, saying shame on Robert and all this stuff. You guys don't know nothing. I just explained everything. Maybe one of these days, Pedro, you can explain how your situation went, on how you have a very very young daughter and a very very older one with two separate people, and let us know how that worked out. And just let us know. I'm full disclosure. I ain't got nothing to hide there. That was my story there, and it is what it is. And it's in a much better place right now, and it's better to where it is now to where it was going back and forth to court. All these hearings you got to do, you got to miss work, do all that other stuff. All that stuff is done when you go through things. You just teach people on how not to go through those same things. TFT just put some stuff there. Keep your family first. Work together fine like that, and it's all one love. Outside of that, people, we're gonna go outside and do this courier work and get busy. Um, but we're out of here like Chuck Woolery and two. You guys have a great day. TFT, tell the wife I said hi
No, always,
from the Reese's. Yeah, from the
always,
Reese's.
brother. You guys
All
take
right, now
care,
we out
stay
of here,
safe out
people.
there, and always stay respectful.
Yep.